Yeah, and we are just skating through the week and skating through February. Yes, on this last day of the month. Look at that pretty sunrise. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner with a very comfortable forecast for today.
Beautiful out there. You know, we had that front come through last night. I'm sure that you probably heard a rumble of thunder, saw a little bit of rain. That is all out of here, and we're left with beautiful clear skies and a gorgeous sunrise. This is a live look here at North Hills this morning. Our temperatures today will be a little cooler than yesterday because we're behind the front. We're typically warmer ahead of a front and cooler behind. So 47 right now, and we'll see temperatures climbing into the 50s, looking at upper 50s right around lunchtime. Checking temperatures heading out the door, a few 30s out there. 38 Southern Pines, 37 Rocky Mount, elsewhere mostly in the 40s. So that might be coat weather for you. I know it's coat weather for me on a day like today. Gardner's 43, Nightdale's 43, 38 in Cary and in Holly Springs, 39 there in Fuquay Varina. Around town, we'll warm it on up into the low 60s this afternoon, but that's about 10 to 15 degrees cooler than yesterday. 63 Raleigh, 62 Durham, and 67 for Fayetteville. All right, our next weather maker is a front that comes through Saturday night. This is last night's front, and behind it, of course, we're cooler today, signified by the blue color contours. Then ahead of Saturday's front, we see some warmth coming up from the south. That's going to bring us into the mid-70s tomorrow. But then Saturday's front, which will be rain-free, is likely to bring us some wind and a blast of much colder air for both Sunday and Monday. So it is that time of year where it's just a real roller coaster ride. 59 is our normal high. Tomorrow we see 74, and then we're going to flip the numbers around. 47 on Sunday, and then closer to normal on Wednesday. And then some cold mornings too. Monday morning 27, Tuesday morning 35. You know, are we usually done with freezing temperatures this time of year? No, not quite. Typically the first week of April is when we see our last freeze, and the last hard freeze typically at the end of March. So we still have a ways to go, certainly. Once we get past the weekend, our next weather maker comes in on Wednesday, and Ken, we're already looking at that with the potential for some severe storms. So keep checking back to hear more about that.
Excellent, Elizabeth. Thanks. We're following.
Well, this is a treat on a Friday morning, right? Lake Gaston. Look at that. Nice little waves in the lake. You got blue, clear skies. This right here, this picture, like frame it, hang it in the Louvre because it's a good precursor of what we're going to be seeing today. Isn't that right, Elizabeth?
It is so pretty, isn't it? I've got some more of those to show you too. Fayetteville, Raleigh, Apex, Chapel Hill. I mean, literally every camera that we have is looking gorgeous right now. Such a pretty sunrise. Chapel Hill's courtesy of Top of the Hill Restaurant. We're going to see beautiful weather through the weekend, but some big temperature swings, which we'll talk more about coming up. Our next big weather maker, when we're going to see some rain, won't be until next Wednesday, but it's worth talking about. Just kind of planting the seed in the back of your mind, because this could be one of our first real severe weather situations that we see of this year. A cold front arrives late on Wednesday. Some strong storms, a threat for severe weather. Gusty winds and heavy rain look like the biggest threats right now, and then behind it we would turn a little colder. This is a look at Futurecast for Wednesday. So this is 6 a.m. and most of the rain is still well to the west at that point. That rain starts to move in late afternoon into the evening. You know, the typical timeline for those strong fronts that produce severe weather, and then it's out before we get to the morning commute on Thursday. Already the Storm Prediction Center has identified Virginia all the way down to Florida as an area where we could see severe storms for Wednesday. So it's something that you'll hear us talk about a lot. So our severe weather checklist, there are different elements that we need to see to have severe storms. Two of those look very likely. Lots of moisture. You can see the rain there on the map, and then lift that we'll see from the cold front. The question is, will we see any wind shear, which is circulation, and will we have enough energy for there to be tornadoes? We do not typically see a lot of tornadoes around here, period, but we certainly have some months that are more tornadic than others. In March, we average 2, but then in April, we average 6, so that's a good bit, and then in May, we average 5. We see another spike that happens in September with 5, and that's associated with the tropical season. How much rainfall might we see with this system? It's probably going to be somewhere between a ½ an inch and maybe 3/4 of an inch, but it's a little early to tell, and right now, that is the only chance of rain in the next 7 days. So the outdoor plans for the weekend looking good. Really warm Saturday with mid-70s and really chilly Sunday with upper 40s, but we'll see equal amounts of sunshine both days. So if you're headed out Sunday, you just want to bundle up. And then Monday morning, we're looking at temperatures in the 20s. We're going to talk more about when we see our last freezing temperatures coming up, Ken.
Elizabeth.